Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are digging into a really strange story. One that honestly blurs the line between science fiction and what could be reality. It's all about this small metallic orb, an object that some people are convinced is not from this world and might have just woken up. So, yeah, let's talk about this thing. It's called the Bugha sphere. Now, this whole story is unverified, but the researchers and theorists who've been tracking it, they think it could be the real deal, like definitive proof of technology way beyond anything we have. And the craziest part, they think it was left here and is now, well, it's becoming active. Okay, so our story kicks off with the discovery of this object, and right from the get-go, it seemed to just defy all known laws of physics, of material science. It was a true anomaly. No other way to put it. So to really get a handle on this whole mystery, we've got to look at the timeline. It all kicks off back in 1987, when it was first dug up. Then it kind of goes quiet for a while, in a research phase, and then, boom, a super dramatic event is reported just last year, in 2023. So you have to wonder, right? What in the world did those miners find buried deep under the desert sand in Rajasthan? I mean, it wasn't gold, it wasn't any kind of known mineral. It was something else entirely. What they found was this small metallic orb, but with some properties that just sound impossible. For one, it was perfectly smooth. No seams, nothing. But get this, it was basically indestructible. Every single drill bit they tried to use on it just snapped. And the weirdest part? It seemed to be humming. Not just a constant drone, but rhythmically. Almost like it was alive. But, that's not even the most astonishing part of its behavior. That didn't really show itself until it was moved out of the quiet desert and into a controlled research lab. That's when its, let's call it passive humming, turned into something much more active. So, in the lab, this sphere didn't just make noise, it responded to it. When they played certain sound frequencies, the sphere would actually start to levitate. And even stranger than that, some of the internal reports claimed it would literally drift towards human voices. It gave everyone the impression that it was, listening to conversations in the room. I mean, this kind of behavior, it just raises a huge question, right? Is this just some bizarre, unexplained, natural phenomenon, like the official reports first suggested? Or was this a piece of technology, an artifact, designed for a purpose we can't even begin to understand? And yeah, the plot thickens, because the physical analysis of the sphere itself only made the mystery deeper. It made that whole natural phenomenon explanation, a lot harder to swallow for the people actually working on the project. So its material composition was just completely baffling. Now, according to the internal analysis, and we have to stress, this was never independently verified or peer-reviewed, it was made of a metallic alloy that just doesn't exist on our periodic table. Think about that. It was lighter than aluminum, but stronger than our strongest titanium. How is that possible? And then they looked inside. Or, they scanned the inside, and that's where they found the next piece of the puzzle. It wasn't solid metal all the way through. Nope, it was hollow. And its core was filled with these complex, structured patterns of energy. It really suggested it could be some kind of, advanced hard drive. Okay, so with this bizarre set of alleged facts, you basically get two very different camps, two different conclusions. You've got the official explanation, which was super conservative. They just labeled it a magnetic anomaly, natural but unexplained. But then you have the other, much more controversial theory emerge, the ancient astronaut theory. The idea that aliens visited Earth a long, long time ago and left some stuff behind. And this is where it gets really wild. According to theorists like an astrophysicist named Dr. Aleem Rahman, the Bugha sphere isn't even a one-off. He claims that if you actually map out the locations of other similar reported discoveries around the world, you get a geometric pattern. And that pattern mirrors star systems like Orion and the Pleiades, which, by the way, are constellations that ancient myths often link to sky builders. So after that initial burst of research, the story just goes quiet. For years. The sphere is just sitting in a lab somewhere, humming away. And that's how it stays, until this dramatic, super controversial event was reported to have happened in 2023. So, according to these later reports, a researcher in a lab in Bangalore decided to try something new, a new experiment. What if, they thought, we played it a very specific sound, and that sound was the recordings from NASA's Voyager probes, the sounds of planets and interstellar plasma waves from deep space. And the response was apparently immediate and absolutely stunning. The sphere allegedly stopped humming completely, and then it started emitting these complex, pulsating patterns of light. It wasn't just reacting anymore. It really seemed like it was replying. And this signal, it wasn't random. Not at all. Analysts claimed the light patterns matched the binary code from the Voyager Golden Record. The message we sent out from humanity to the cosmos. It's like it was speaking our language back to us. And when they translated the pattern, it formed a symbol, an eye, surrounded by concentric circles. Now that symbol is a huge deal. You see it in some of Earth's oldest civilizations. It's the eye of Anu in Sumerian culture, the eye of Ra in Egyptian.
So this brings us right to the heart of it, the central question of this whole thing. Was this a meaningful exchange, a direct communication across who knows how many millennia and light years? Or was it just the most incredible, absolutely mind-bending coincidence in all of human history?
The official response, at least according to the leaks, was swift and total. The sphere was seized, the lab was completely dismantled, every single file on the project was classified top secret. Just like that, the story was shut down. But before the whole story went completely dark, one final and frankly chilling piece of information was reportedly leaked out. It came from an engineer on the project, right before they supposedly vanished. And this might be the most provocative claim of the whole story. The leaked report said, and I quote, "The sphere is not from the stars. It's a seed, and something is waking it up." That just reframes everything, doesn't it? It suggests this thing isn't just a communication device, but something planted here. Something that is only now becoming active. Which leaves us with a final and honestly, a pretty unsettling thought. If the Bugha sphere really is a seed, and if it is waking up now, right as our own probes are reaching interstellar space, what does that mean for us? What on earth is it growing into? That's the question we're left with.